what in your opinion is the biggest problem with finding buyers the way that most people do it? Like the way that
If
most people are doing it, what's the issue with that?
the issue with that is first is the speed, is how fast can you go with finding a buyer for the property that you have just locked up, especially if you're brand new and you're thinking about, okay, I really worked hard for this deal. I have been following up for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks with this agent, and finally they agree on my price, and I know my price is good, but I'm brand new. What do I got to do right now? So I was in that shoes, and I was going to Facebook. Hey guys, hey, I need who's buying, and then you got a bunch of other people that just getting started that also want to help, and there's nothing wrong with it. But then your deal is not moving as fast. So what I used to do is I used to stop at construction sites. I used to actually talk to people. I used to go to network events and meetups, and that's good if you're local. Now, if you're like Korean in 6, 7 different markets, how can you do that? There is a better way now. Thanks to the handsome Benson, we have Privy. It makes our job a whole lot easier. With a click of buttons, we can go to any state in the country that's covered, of course, that you have data in it. You can go ahead and pull any buyer that you want based on the data, and then you can contact him within. Really, I tell you, the whole process of finding a buyer now, it doesn't take me more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Ooh, that gives me chills.
That's exciting.
Can you throw a fire emoji in the chat if you want to see how to find a buyer in 2 to 3 minutes? Because that is what Rocky is donating his time here to do for us. And it's coming through Privy. And just a reminder, like right now, you can go get Privy so you can follow along and know this process like the back of your hand, just like Rocky does. And we've got a code for you. It's DAMG. And if you use that code, you're going to get 30% off the annual and 20% off if you choose to do monthly of your first month. So go do that if you don't have it, so that as soon as he starts sharing your screen, you can follow along.
I love that. And on top of that, if you're taking action today, I will share my best 10 questions you ask a buyer to qualify them for your deals. So you sign up today, I will share that with the team, and the team can send you that once you sign up. How does that sound?
Oh, that's awesome. So you wrote out, how'd you figure out the best 10 questions? Just from like trial and error and years of doing it, you figured out which questions are the best ones to ask?
That's correct. It's always better to learn from others. Always learn from the unsuccessful and the successful. And that's how you put questions together, and you'd be like, bingo, I got what it needs.
That is exciting.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
I'm ready. I'm all about actions. You guys know me. You guys know me. I will go a little bit slower here, just so you guys can follow along on how I do what I do and how I find buyers. I am locally in Georgia. So before I got this, I want to thank my mom and my dad and no, I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm in Georgia only, so we're gonna stick to Georgia, okay? I love all markets. I love everything. Here is your data. The blue spots is your MLS data. Anything that's reddish to oranges right here, it's more like it's the MLS coming soon. And also you have a yellow, that's a third party. For the sake of this training, what we're going to do is right here, we're just going to click on fix and flip for now, right? And you have a filter. You can do anything you want. The only thing I want to do right here is actually nothing, because Privy is so good. It gives you what Privy thinks is best, and I think it's the best. Keep it at 75%. You can play with the price, but it doesn't matter because now we're finding buyers. So price doesn't matter. Also, this is important, which Privy automatically puts it for you just in case you forget. I like to keep it 12 months because I want to see who's active. Now, that being said, we're on our search. If you happen to zoom in at any here and you're like, oh, what I do, what is my market? Just click on Privy coverage and you're back on overview. And now you can choose your market. I don't like typing a market. I just like to scroll right into it.
Yeah, me too.
I just zoom in. And why is that important? I'll show you guys why it's important. As you start zooming in, you start to see the blue spots. You're like, okay, cool. Now I have an idea of where I need to be, right? So I'm gonna click on fix and flip again because I click on coverage. As you do so, you see that 1401. So you're like, okay, now I start zooming in a little more. Now I want to see where are my activities, right? So now I'll be like, okay, now I see around Marietta is good. I zoom in a little more because I want to see. Now I got, check this out, near Estill and Atlanta and Warm Springs and Smyrna. That's good, but I want to zoom in a little more. And that can be applied to any market, guys. I'm just giving you an idea of how I do it. And now I'll be like, okay, cool. So now I have a deal in Marietta and I need a buyer. I'm just going to click on this. It says 9 over here. Once you click on it, it's going to pull all these 9 houses. And then you scroll right through it. Single family residence. It might pull anything. So the whole idea of this is just we're getting cash buyers, right? So I don't like setting it to just single family resident because, like myself, I buy both multifamily and single family resident. And all you have to do is just go right through them and see what you think is good, right? So going back up, I'll be like, okay, I like this one. Let me click on this and see what happens. Number one thing I do is I immediately go to the before and after, immediately, before I do anything else.
Slow you down, Rocky. Ooh, we gotta slow down. You're smart. And everybody in the chat
Gotcha. So
when
no, yeah, absolutely. I'm not paying attention as much to the chat, so please help me out. I get energetic on these calls, so tell me to slow down if I go fast.
That's why you and I get along so well. We bring the energy. But just to answer a couple questions that are happening in the chat in regards to this. So he's using that overall map to kind of find where the buyers are even active. If you don't know what market to work in, that's a great place to start, is just see where the activity is. And as somebody who's come new to the Atlanta market in the last like 2 or 3 months, I think it's so funny to see how accurate that stuff is, because I can already see the areas like Marietta and the outside skirts, Duluth, that kind of thing. Those are the hotter areas than actually Atlanta Central. And it's already telling you that. So we know that this is a hotter area that buyers are in, and that's where he's taking you in this process. And today we're just focused on buyers. If you've got comps and things like that, you can always reach out to me on a DM.
There you go. She puts it right there for you. And that's why I go really fast, is because I do this every day and I love finding buyers on Privy, and it's addictive right now. It's like me drinking orange juice and doing this at the same time. So you scroll down to where you want to be. That again, I saw 9. Hypothetically, you have a buyer in Marietta, right? So you have a 1, 4, and 1. You're like, okay, cool. So I have a little more activities here than all of this area around it. So I'm just gonna click on this, and it's gonna zoom in immediately for you. As it does that, what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull a list on the side, and I can zoom in a little more, or I can just stay on the outside right here too. That way, I have a little bit more data than I just focus on one street. I can also draw right here. That pen right here, I can be like, okay, I want to be around this area, right? And now I have my desired area over here, and I'll just scroll down to see which one I think, from the look of it, that looks renovated to me. As you're going through, let's just say I see this as like, okay, nice landscaping, nothing too major. So first thing I do is I go to before and after. Before I scroll through all these pictures to give me an idea, and that's what I love about Privy, because it's so accurate with data. Sometimes it really gets you actually everything you need. Like you don't need an agent, you don't need MLS access as an agent. So you just come on Privy and you look at it and say, okay, cool. Now I see everything. It helps you better understand your area, your desired area, your market. So you just have to keep an eye on what are you doing, and you just play with it. Again, if you're over here, you got an eraser over here, you can just remove what you don't want, and scroll back out to see like, okay, how much does it change? It's always loading over here. So I like this one. I want to click on it. Once I click on it, before I fall in love with anything, I want to fall in love with data before I fall in love with pictures. But I look at this one, I'd be like, okay, so before and after, they bought it in July and they sold it this year. It took them a lot of time. And now I'd be like, okay, what did they do? Right now, I'm curious. What did they do to the outside? Is it similar to the subject property you have? If it's a yes, because you should know your subject property better than anybody. If it's a yes, all you have to do is you click on public records right here. Once you're in public records, click on property history. Here's what I like about this. This is remember, this is the day that it was purchased by the investor, right? And you right here, it shows you all the other recordings. If there is no recording for the recent sale to a traditional buyer, which is the seller would be the investor, you just go back one and you'd be like, okay, now my buyer is my investor, because that's a previous date. And this was purchased by Open Door Property Trust. This is a hedge fund. In this scenario, what you have to do is, it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna go right through this just so you actually see that you can look up anybody. If it's a hedge fund and it's a hedge fund and you don't want to talk to them, cool. If you have their contact information, fine. Now, what you want to do is you want to put the LLC name into opencorporates.com. What opencorporates.com does is it searches who they can find as an authorizer or organizer in this company. I can tell you some hedge funds, you won't find information because they have way too much protection, right?
Yeah.
And
they don't want to be found usually.
Exactly. They don't want to be found. They don't want to be bothered. And look at this. Look at how many states they actually are in. So that tells you a whole lot about this hedge funds. If you can get in touch with somebody, you can sell your deals to them by just one click on Privy. Let's just say it in Florida. Go ahead.
I've found that the bigger companies that are hard to find here, I actually find people in LinkedIn. Just a hot tip, because you might be able to find somebody who lists this as the company that they work with. And if you find anybody that says acquisitions or something like that, I've had some great success to find some hedge funds that way.
I have great success finding actual buyers on LinkedIn by getting their entity name from Privy. Let's just for the sake of this, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna click on this. All right, let's just say hypothetically you get this. But because hedge fund has so much protection, all you're gonna see is the agent name. The agent name is usually who's responsible for filling the paperwork. We don't want to go too far. We don't want to invest too much time. So we're just gonna go back and be like, okay, we're just gonna look for a little more. So we want to find like somebody who's like constantly buying, constantly flipping, but it's a flipper. I think this is the one we looked at earlier. So when you click on it, straight go to before and after. That tells you, look, I like this so much. Why? Two reasons. One, they purchased this year. Second, they sold it within 5 months. What does that mean? One is they're active. They got a good crew, because it's not only that, oh yeah, they flipped it, so what? You have to understand. Look at this. That's what I love about Privy too. If you need to actually open your mind and you like express more stuff, construction days, hold time, and then days in the market. That tells you they bought it, they started, they held, they put it in the market, they sold, boom, bingo, done. But the most important thing about this right here is what? These guys just sold the house. What does that mean, Corianne?
Oh, it means that their crews are looking for another job.
They're looking for another job. And Corianne and I both buy properties, and we both can tell you that when you sell a property, you want to keep your crew busy, and you want to avoid majority of the stuff that we don't want to get into, as such as not in CPA or an attorney, such as taxes or whatnot. Now, again, you look at this. Does it look renovated? 100% does. I can tell you they removed a couple of walls in here, so that's perfect. I look at the kitchen, boom. That's it.
Yeah.
It's been
One other good thing about this, you guys, is that this also tells us that this buyer is willing to buy from the MLS. So that is some of that qualitative data that we don't necessarily have to put into a calculator to learn about our buyers. So we know they're willing to buy from the MLS. And if you scroll down a little bit to the percentage of ARV there, it also shows you that you could have bought this deal from the MLS at 53% of the ARV, when most people believe you can't get deals this good on the MLS. Well, the data tells us you can. So you just have to be looking in the right areas. And that's why we look in these high investor activity areas like Rocky zeroed in on, because you will find really good deals on the MLS if you're around where flippers are at. You won't find them out in the sticks or where it's rural or where farmland is because there's not enough activity to create these margins and find these deeply discounted deals.
Right. And one more thing I would like to add this, and that's one thing this is when you get something like this, guys, when you get Privy, don't use Privy just to, I'm gonna find a buyer and call them. Use it for what it's good for. Privy tells you that this flipper is not afraid of adding baths, beds, stories, garages. Look at this change. Also tells you, like, if you have a 3.2 1800 and you get it for this price, this guy will buy it and will add addition.
If
that's gold,
blew your mind and you can see that this is gold, I need an emoji in the chat. I need to know that you guys can see that you are getting so much data in this one bar as to how this particular flipper buyer works and how you can approach them. I absolutely love the fact that it's giving you that 53%. Sometimes I'll take that information, I will use it for an agent. I'll say, hey, you don't believe that I'm a legit buyer because my offers are low. Here's 6 different things that have sold in your market in this neighborhood that show that there are things selling at 320. And that's why my offer is 320.
Bingo.
And
so good.
Really cool stuff.
With the click of buttons, once you get used to this, it's really 2-3 minutes, you're done. Again, once you find this information, you click on public record, and then you click on property history. I'm making this so easy and condensed just to this information. I don't want to go out of track on this one. So here it's got recorded already when it was purchased. Who purchased it? This right here. This is the LLC. This is the flipper. This is the company that purchased it. I don't care if there's no recordings of the sale. This right here tells me enough, because my buyer here is going to be the seller on their latest recordings. So we're going to copy this buyer. And again, when you're in here, what you want to do is you can make it easier for yourself. You put it here and choose your state. Okay. Oh, where is it? Right there. So that way, what is going to happen is it's going to pull just the state now. LLC. It didn't copy it. There you go. I know. I was like, why is it keeps pulling the same one? There we go. Now we're talking. Bingo. Let's see what we got here. So now we know that we have this LLC, something Harrison Property LLC. Now, there's majority of things you could do here. Again, the most important thing is you want to find this information. You don't find it on Zillow or anywhere else. Open Corporates use 90% of the time it gives you the information that you need. Sometimes, again, based on protection and stuff like this, you don't. What you want to do is plug this information either into Google or into LinkedIn. Like, you can look these people up right here. I would call these people immediately and say, hey, is this such and such? If it's temporary close or not, I don't really care for that much, because they might have just deleted their Google business. Yeah. But other than that, they're all in here.
Since this is a public number that is popping up right now, can we give it a call and see how that conversation might go?
We definitely could. Let's see if it's let's see if they're available. This is a public number, guys, so we can definitely give them a call live. Let's see if they answer. Now, right before you call, what you want to do is 333s. What you want to do is you want to collect your data, right? So you want to go back to Privy, scroll back up, and be like, okay, now I know they bought this one, they did this one. Cool, it's such a nice property. You want to sugarcoat it too, but let's give it a try to see. Yeah, you can't talk because they can't hear you, as we call. So
Yeah. Just so you know, under open corporates, this is for everybody, where it says inactive directors or officers, 3 officers available. If you click on that, it's going to give you names. Hopefully. Okay, in this situation, it wants you to sign in. Normally, there's just one name there, and then I take that name and I search it. We might run across that process as we continue going here.
Please leave your
double dial.
Yes. Let's do it. Benson, is Rocky
Yes.
just best at this process? Is there anything that you would add that he might have missed to find some data?
No, it's kind of just like you're playing detective for a while, and that's why it's fun, especially when you find a phone number, because it's for a lot of people, they like to do it in bulk. They'll take, because you can export lists from Privy too, like that list, all those red icons that were on the map, you can click a button at the top and it will export all of those buyers to a CSV file. And right there, you can see there's about almost 200 right there. So you don't have to do it on a one-on-one basis, but I encourage people to do it one by one, because you learn as you go. You look at what they bought it for, you look at what you can see what they sold it for, you can see the percentage of ARV, and that one-on-one process is more educational than if you just export it into a list. And so I see the buying process, the process of building a buyer's list is more than just building the list. It's not the output that is the most valuable piece. It's what you learn along the way about those buyers, about the market, about the properties that are being fixed and flipped. All that information, like almost subliminally, goes into your mind, and it makes you better prepared to identify a deal once it presents itself in the future that you need to take action on, because you've done the research. You've actually become kind of, it's almost like having boots on the ground, but virtually. And you're learning all this information by doing the research. So do it one by one, especially at the beginning when you're brand new and when you're brand new to market, because you'll take all that information into you, and it makes you a better investor.
Right, 100%. I agree with you. And guys, you can do this. Like I always tell people, you can really do this while you're watching a movie at night. So you don't have to take away from your whole day. You're like, oh no, I gotta dedicate 34 hours to call buyers. You can just do this the night before to prepare it, and then the next day you're rocking and rolling. And it's really important. Also, one more thing, guys. Let's just say we find let's say Korean is the buyer, and it'll be over here. You take her name, you copy it, and you put it into truepeoplesearch.com, and what that gives you, it gives you her phone number, pretty much like 4 to 7 phone numbers. And usually I just call them in order, and don't call the landline, call anything that's say wireless. And I 9 out of 10, we actually get people to the line. Last one we did here with Vincent, we got 4 people like within the first 15-20 minutes, and it was like rocking and rolling, and then they all were buying. So it's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we continue down the list, click on this property. Looks super renovated, before and after. Look at that. They remove some trees and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? This was
it
the land.
Oh no.
I'm thinking, okay, they made it bigger. I was thinking maybe it was zoned. I'm not sure if it was the land, because this is new soil right here. Anyways, it looks renovated to me. Let's go through it. Most important thing in the house is what?
Kitchen.
Kitchen, and then
I will add one thing to this other
bathroom.
qualitative piece, that on the left hand side, when it says public record below the image, that means they bought it off market. That one we were looking at before, when it had the photos and it had an MLS ID, that means they bought it from the MLS. So you can start to again understand better on what's going on in your area, and also about your buyers by looking at the before and after. Are they willing to buy stuff from the MLS? Will they only buy off market? was this transaction just the only off-market deal they ever bought? But again, more information to make you better prepared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, quality of work also is crucial in such business, because you want three things that grabs people's attention: the outside by bathrooms and kitchens. So, because bathrooms, kitchens, because the wives usually make the decision on which house to buy. Just keep that in mind. So, public record, proper history, and okay, that's our people.
Yeah,
It
I want to
looked
add
like-
something here real quick, Rocky. You were saying that
Yes.
the final transaction hasn't been recorded yet. That's one of the best benefits of Privy. When we know about the transaction before the rest of the public knows about it, because the data comes
Mhm.
from the MLS. So
Mhm.
I can't see when this one sold, like the most recent sale. What does it say, Zaraki? Can you tell me?
It's in September 22nd.
So you can see here, that's almost like 2 weeks that the county hasn't even published that this sale even happened.
Right.
So the fact that we know about this sale before the rest of the population does is a huge advantage, because everybody else doesn't even know this house was flipped yet, but we do, because we have direct access to the MLS in the Atlanta market.
Mhm.
And that's what-
100%.
So big, guys. So if you don't have Privy yet, I just want to remind you that we have a code for you. It's DAMG. If you use that code, you're going to get 30% off an annual package or 20% off your first month if you go that route. Because you
Yep.
want this
And-
data.
And you're gonna get my 10 questions.
Honestly, today's the day to sign up for those 10 questions. And that's why, I mean, I wanted you to call buyers. I wanted you to
Yeah,
call
I'd
buyers
love to.
I could learn from.
Let's see. Now we grab our buyer in this transaction, which is the seller in the latest recording in Privy, not in the public, because it hasn't made it out of Privy yet. All right, now I like when this stuff like this happens. It makes me want to try to get a little bit creative, and I'm a freak. So now I'll be like, okay, what can we do in here? Hey, look at that. Ain't this awesome? So for those that missed it, look at my screen again. This is the LLC, and it should be written like this, right? And then I searched it, and then bingo, nada, right? Be like, okay, now what do I need to change? I'll be like, okay, let me take these spaces out first. Nada. I was like, okay, let me take this out, because now you're working with the IRS pretty much, because that's how they form their entity. Go. That's it. Sometimes don't get just discouraged immediately. Have fun with it. Get creative and all that. Just really enjoy it.
That's where you really become the detective, just like Benson said. You're just on the hunt for this particular person, because you're your person. And I
All
also
right.
wanted to, Benson, that you had talked about how you get all this data as you're moving through it one by one, but also it allows you to have a better intimate conversation with that buyer when you call, because you got all of that information right in front of you. And I tell a lot of new wholesalers, especially if you're on the dispo side, you're more valuable to me as an AC person if you have 5 good buyers in comparison to having a list of 200 emails. And this is a great way to just get started with 5 solid conversations and buyers.
Absolutely.
Is this new, you guys, where it says just the agent name and it's hiding the 2 officers available? I remember they used to show them all. I wonder if they've changed it recently to where they want you to sign in.
Exactly. I wanted to say that earlier because before it used to be in here, and I don't want to go through create an account right now or sign with LinkedIn, but guys, usually it's the agents, and then you're gonna have directors, authorizers, or organizers. I think it changed, but for the sake of this, sometimes here is one thing you guys need to know. Sometimes with companies like this, the agent would be the same name as the authorizer and the organizer. So, Korean, if you don't mind, can you look up the information on this one, so that way we don't put their confidential information out there to the world? And guys, what Korean is doing, she's taking the name and put it into truepeoplesearch.com, and that's gonna give her the phone numbers of this person, which she's gonna do probably send it to me via text or like private.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Rocky, would
follow
you
up.
go into True People Search just to show people?
Yes,
And then-
absolutely. So what you want to do is when you True People search, and you're going to be over here. And this is free, guys, right? Let's just say we want to look James Miller, I don't know. And we would say in the state of Georgia. And of course, James Miller is a very popular name. You're gonna have a lot, and you're gonna have people like this, and you're gonna see the city and the state. You want to click on that, and then you're gonna. I don't want to go too much into the depth because of the phone numbers, because that's an actual person. So once you have this, what you want to do is view details, and this takes you to their profile and get their phone number, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the best way too is when you're here is click the name instead of the view details. When you go to view details, it's going to try to sell you. Right. So let's go back on that real quick.
Right.
They're going to try to sell you a more high level report, which is fine, right? But that's the purpose of True People Search, is to give you some information, but really ask you to pay for a deeper search that they can do background checks from here and a bunch of stuff. That's the purpose of the site. But fortunately for us, it's a free way of doing skip tracing.
Right. Exactly.
It is not bringing up their number for me right now, but I
Okay.
have found, so.
That's
Give me
fine.
two more
As you do, I'm just gonna keep looking because I want to show people like this is really an easy process and nothing too major. Vincent, could you go over what these two icons means to those that are new with Privy or haven't signed up, please?
Yeah. So if you will click into that one, just go in and click that property. And at the top, there is a key. So at the very top row, there's a bar
Right.
that shows you what all of those little things mean. So if you click that, it gives you a key on what all those mean. And so for the ones we saw with a little cash thing, that means they bought that house with no mortgage. And then the building there means it is an LLC. So corporate owned.
So that's another filter for you guys to look right through, and just to be like, okay, cool. How to identify which one is not corporate owns or like an individually owned. You can just look at the icons as you're going through.
Yes, somebody here, Kendon had a question for you, Rocky.
Yes.
Are you contacting the buyer's agent also? So let's say you can't find the contact information for that last buyer we were just looking for on Open Corpus. Would you ever call the agent and try to work through them to get a connection to the buyer?
Yes. So, but yeah, yes, 100%. What you want to do though is you want to make sure you have the data in front of you. So you're not just somebody just calling. You're like, hey, notice you did such and such for Benson Owns Homes LLC. And I was wondering if your client is interested in buying one more property. It's good practice, but also I love going to the source itself. Because what you're doing is you just creating more obstacles, more road bumps for yourself. I like going straight to the source. Like, again, I think we all have good 1 hour a day free at night rather than grab Netflix and chips, grab Privy and orange juice and change your life. I like going to the source, but yes, that's a great question. But I like going to the source itself.
Rocky, I just texted you 2 numbers. The first one is the one I would try first.
Copy that. And that was for this.
Yes.
All right, let's see. All right. And
Austin, I don't understand your question. Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, give us more info on that.
You can always purchase with just cash.
yeah, if there's a mortgage, you just buy them out. You put your cash and the cash pays the mortgage, and there's no mortgage no more. If I'm sure that's the question. Can you purchase with cash if there's mortgage? Yes, you can purchase anything with cash, and it just wipes it out.
Mhm.
Took my glasses up so you can see my pretty eyes.
Finally. I can't believe you held them back from us this whole time.
How unfair.
And can't give all the information before people sign up for a preview.
So if you guys sign up today, Rocky will send you a photo of his beautiful eyes.
Take a
And
selfie.
his top 10 questions to ask buyers. You get 2 things out of that. Oh, man. Austin, Amanda has a great answer for you, and Amanda is fantastic. So take a look at that.
Oh, I love Amanda. She's if you don't know Amanda, you need to get to know Amanda. She's gonna buy all your deals.
All right. So what are we doing now, Rocky?
Colin,
Oh, awesome.
I don't think you can hear the ringing on Zoom. So we're calling this property to see if we can get a hold of anybody.
Sorry, my allergies hit me. I am Are you gonna
Austin, what it means is that they purchased this particular house with cash, meaning they did not go through a bank, a hard money lender, or anybody else that would put a lien on the house, which is a mortgage. Does that make sense? So if I buy this cup with $2, I'm good. But if I buy it with Vincent's money, it's $2.50. Vincent's gonna give me a piece of paper and say, hey, you've got to pay me back, or I'm gonna take this cup, whether you drink it or not. I have that helps. That should help.
find us another buyer? Guys, that's also 2 buyers he's already called. And if he follows up or they call him back, that's a conversation.
It's also a little late, people are getting off, going with their families, having dinner. So it's good practice again. This is perfect. I like this one because they bought it and they painted it. Now, like Vincent said earlier, okay, or like I said earlier, they kept it the same. They added a bedroom. I believe they had the space and they just converted that space into a bedroom. So I like that. That's good, which they didn't do top dollar renovate. This isn't new though. This is the newest design right here on the flips. You don't find these like especially a house built in the 63. You don't find these. I like this. This is also, I like this. Let's see. The bar in April, sold in September, pretty good amount.
Look at the percentage of ARV on that one, Rocky. They were willing to flip that at 71%.
Insane.
Of the ARV. So this is good. Again, more information, you guys, you can learn about your buyers. You want buyers that are willing to pay a higher percentage of ARV. They're easier to work with. If you can find a buyer who was willing to pay up, then you can give them more deals, and you don't have to get stuff at 30 or 40 or 50% of the ARV for it to make sense for them. We could find a property that's at 65% of the ARV, and you could still make a lot of money on it for this particular buyer.
Exactly. That's so true. Also, what I like about this, okay, it looks like an individual bought it, but Korean, could you get this for me, please? I like what Vincent said. And you guys, you need to understand, as a buyer myself, I don't care what ARV there is. I create my own ARV. And that's back, the 10 questions that I'm going to give you guys later on. I'm actually going to share with Natasha is how to qualify a cash buyer. That's what the questions are. The question is not like, hi, how you doing today? I don't care. You don't care. You want to do business. You want to get to know them. You want to get to know the business, how they do, what they do, how they did it, And these questions will qualify them to be, are they a great fit of this or not? Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Give me yes in the chat or thumbs up or like hallelujah or something, but that's how it is.
That's
you got the name, Korean?
I do have the name, and it was easy find since it's such a unique name. But now I'm for that number.
I love those. I love the unique names. Perfect. I see a lot of yeses. That's great. Because you need to understand this. This is right here is very important. You got people who are like, I only buy 65. This person made good money. They didn't even do top dollar. They just installed this properly, painted, did a little cleanup. I mean, look at the floor. This floor is the same. They just repolished it.
I've used things like this to justify my buy price. I've never used things like this to justify my sale price. A light bulb just went. What?
Mhm.
I got you a number, sir.
Sweet. Thank you. Okay.
Guys, that's really smart.
Oh,
How other buyers are making more money than them. Why wouldn't you want my property?
Exactly.
That gets me excited as somebody who has a few properties to dispo. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back around that neighborhood and see what's going on.
Hello, Mahmoud. Hello, Mahmoud.
No, I have your wrong number.
Wrong number? Okay. Thank you. It's not Mahmoud. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I do. I'm hitting
Okay,
you
sweet.
with
Try
There
to
you
say
go.
the first name.
I think that is his last name, though, the way that it
Dialed is not working.
This number is not working. Say that again, Brian.
just that I think Mahmood is actually the first name because of the way that True People Search brought it up. Also, I would follow up with a few other numbers on here because they've bought in Georgia and Colorado. And to me, that's
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah, Mahmoud is it's an Arabic name. Mahmoud is a first name. I'm just trying to say this name, but it's just kind of weird. Like I don't want to say it wrong and then they get offended. You say, do you have a number for me or do you?
How do you, and that's I think a good question for everybody is like, how many do you try every single number that's on that list?
I do. I go right through until I find somebody.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I normally always try like the first and second number. Maybe that's not hanging
Last
out.
time, Benson, remember this. We had a number that says inactive since 2014 in True People Search, and that was the actual phone number for that buyer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes that's off. The other thing that Rocky that you said earlier is called the mobile. Don't forget about the landlines. A lot of the buyers that we're finding, you guys, they're older people. And there's other older people are great. I love old people. I'm getting up there personally. But a lot of them haven't switched over to mobile phones yet. They have landlines still. And even if they get a mobile phone with the big buttons on it, you probably see those commercials. But they're keeping their landlines too. So don't forget about landlines.
That's a really good point. And actually, I'm going to give you a landline right now because this is telling me that this person might be around 60, 65. So landline makes a lot of sense.
Let's see.
Well, Rocky's dialing there. You guys
This one is not the landline is not in service.
is don't just dial and forget these people. Make sure you're putting them into a spreadsheet. Or you're putting them into your CRM so that you can follow up. When we get people on the phone, you guys, it's rare. If we're gonna get them on the phone live, that is a rare thing. It might take you 10 calls to get them on the phone. So don't forget about your people. You got to keep them in your queue, set reminders in your CRM if you have one that will remind you to call them once every other day for a week. And then after that, maybe it's once a week for, about a month. And then once you move them through your funnel,
Hey, Mahmoud.
maybe you stop calling them.
Hey, salam alaikum, brother. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I'm doing very well. This is Rocky Zidane out here in the Atlanta market. And I'm an investor myself as well. And my team got a couple of properties out in Marietta, and you were recommended to me. And I just wanted to connect with you and see if you're still buying.
Can you say it again because I'm not hearing this from you?
Yes, absolutely. Now I was saying that my name is Rocky, and I'm also an investor out here in the Atlanta metro area. just like yourself. And my team got a property under contract that it's a little bit far from us because we're located in Lawrenceville. And I noticed you flipped a house in Marietta on Kelly Drive, and I really like what you did there. It's pretty simple and just up better.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, are you interested in getting another one?
Yeah, actually, I have the house has been ready but I sold it on last month.
Okay, you sold it last month. Yeah, I noticed. Are you interested in buying another one to flip?
I have the plan on near future. Are you agent?
I am not an agent. I'm an investor. I also run in a real estate investment company.
Mhm. But nowadays I don't have the plan for buying the house. And can you help me for buying the house? Are you interested?
Absolutely. We offer majority of solutions. It doesn't have to be the Apple we have right now. We have multiple others coming soon, next month, next year.
So, but you said you're not as the property agent.
Negative. No, I'm not an agent. No commissions. No commission included here.
I see. Okay, if I decide to buy, I will call you and advise you to select the house.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but at this time, still I'm not ready to buy the house.
Absolutely, brother. I will. This is my personal number. I'll text you my name so you can have it. And yeah, I'll follow up with you shortly. I truly appreciate your time.
Okay, I will let you know when I decide. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless. Bye.
Nice. Found a buyer. Bing, bang, boom.
I promise you, I'm gonna be sending him deals right now. Let me write that. Remember what Vincent said? Keep them in your CRM.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
And-
Rocky, I
that's
was
what's
having trouble hearing what he was saying. What's the summary of what just happened?
So
Yeah.
this guy has been getting a lot of calls. I could hear it in his voice. Why I say that? Because I've been talking to a lot of people every single day. I could hear it in his voice that he's been getting a lot of calls, and he kept saying, "Are you an agent?" And that's when I hit him with like, "No, I'm not." So there's no commissions included. He was like, his tone changed a little bit, and that's very important when you guys talking to buyer, really anybody, is to pay attention and mirror the person you're talking to. So you know how I'm like super energetic. You guys see in the call how I toned it down a little bit when I talk to him. I want him to feel trusted, heard, comfortable with me.
I
And
noticed
that
that, Rocky.
skills-
You really slowed down. You were mirroring him.
Exactly. You got to mirror the person you're talking to make them feel like they can trust you. So look at that, guys. Like, I mean, we found Privy found that property for us. Couple of clicks, we found the buyer, and that actually sell the property, which is a buyer. Got his information. Bingo, rock and roll. And I'm gonna follow up with him, and we're gonna talk to him next week and see how he's doing. He's gonna be ready.
Will you give us a sneak peek of when you are going to call him next week? What's one of these questions on the list of 10? Just a little sneak peek.
Okay, if I give you a sneak peek, which kind of sounds very odd for some of you guys because you're over here thinking about Rocky's going to ask him what renovation, what price. I'm going to ask him about his family. How is his family? What does his family consist of? Of course, I'm not going to ask him immediately. That's weird. Right after the conversation, we'll go over a couple of questions and we qualify him that we want to have a conversation with him next week. We're going to ask if he has dogs, if he has pets, how many kids he have, if they go on a vacation next week. The most important thing here is listen. I want to listen that, okay, he's got a kid graduating, right? I'm like, yeah, hey, Mamu, just following up, see how you doing. Just wondering, how did the graduation go with your kid last month? I know we spoke in February. You were telling me that your kid is graduating in September. How did that go? Take notes too. Actively listening and take notes.
If you walk away from this conversation with just those two things, mirroring somebody on the other side of a phone call and caring about the information that they're sharing with you to follow up on later, you will succeed in this business. As a people business, as conversation business, those two things have changed the way that I work. And it works on whether you're talking to a buyer or an agent. Like I'll call an agent and go, hey, I know that your kid graduated. I actually did this recently. Your kid graduated. How did it go? What are they up to? What college are they going to? Those kinds of conversations lock you into the people that are really doing business.
Absolutely, 100%. So I don't want to cut you off, but this is another flip that I'm looking at, guys. Same thing. I click on the property, and I just want to do one. Are we here until 5 my time?
We are here for 4 more minutes.
Okay. So same thing, guys. You just go click on that, click on before and after, look at the property, definitely fully renovated. Click on public record. This is how I do it in 2 minutes. Click on property history. Now you gotta buy it. You catch that?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That's how I do it. You know, I'm just a freak like this, and I talk fast and everything. Just like you were saying, Korean. It's like, you know, if you can walk away with these two things, you win against anybody because you listen. It's like me going to a restaurant, Benson's restaurant, right? And I say, hey, Benson. Benson comes, bring chips and salsa, and he's all nice. I say, hey, Benson, can I have a chicken sandwich? Like, yeah, sure. 10 minutes later, he comes with salad. Now, it's not like I'm offended he bring me salad, but I'm like, but are you not listening?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you listen, you have majority of your questions answered, and you'll know how to work with that person.
Yeah. And this tells you exactly who to start with the conversations on. If you guys are absolutely impressed that Rocky just found another buyer in 2 minutes, will you please show him some love? Because he donated his hour today to show you exactly the process that he uses to go find buyers. And now you can go do it too. If you have Privy, if you don't have Privy, then you should absolutely get it. And we've got a code for you. It is Damji, one of my favorite last names. And if you use that code, you get 30% off an annual subscription, and then 20% off your first month if you go month to month.
And don't forget the 30-day money back guarantee as well, you guys. So get in there and use it. Come to the free trainings. We've got 2 trainings every single week. We also do trainings here almost every week with Corianne and with Natasha. We bring on special guests. So you're never going to be alone in this process. The Astro Flipping community is amazing. If you haven't looked at the Astro Flipping community, if you're just found us some other way, if you're looking for a potential person to help guide you, consider Jamil. Jamil is one of the most giving people I've ever met. I got a chance to hang out with him last week in Tampa, and you should have seen him taking pictures with people and helping people. And he talked about his relationship with Pace and how they came together, and the whole brotherly love thing and the go-giver mentality. Like, you guys are in the right place. You're in the right place for the community and the support. And Corianne now is leading these amazing calls that we have, and she's doing a great job. Corianne, you're doing a great job. Sign up. No risk. You can absolutely use Privy and definitely be part of the Astro Flipping community.
I'm made to that. I love it.
Did you have
Thank you guys for showing love. No, I was gonna say Benson covered majority of it. I didn't know how Benson. I keep forgetting how good Benson is, really. So thank you, Benson. Thank you, Corianne. Thank you, everybody, for showing love and support. So, and I hope this was valuable. So love you all.
Thank you for being here, everybody.